Magic fans, welcome to the Six-Man Show Postgame Live presented by Rock'em. We won! Yeah! Magic beat the Knicks 98-94 in what was truly a defensive battle all afternoon long by both sides. Just a sloppy, game that was just kind of mucked up from the beginning. But in the end, it favored the Magic. The Magic just shut down the Knicks down the stretch. We're going to talk about that, of course, later. But all in all, it wasn't pretty. Didn't get a lot of help around Paolo tonight. A couple surprising, characters ended up stepping up. But all in all, a win is a win. And right now, you will 100% take a win every chance that you get. The Six-Man Show Postgame Live is presented by Rock'em. Rock'em is the world's largest sock store, and they're located in Orlando. They're a Central Florida company located just down the road from Kia Center. Great people over there, big-time Magic fans. I know they are fired up for this win. And I'm fired up because we get to offer you 20% off when you use the code MAGIC20 at Rock'em.com. Definitely use that code. Get 20% off of Magic gear or gear of your other favorite teams. Maybe you're a Bucks fan like myself. Bucks have a big playoff game here in about less than 3 hours. Math, So, yeah, definitely excited about that. But, yeah, check them out at Rock'em.com. Chat, what's up? Oh, man, it's been a while since we've been able to come on here and celebrate a W. It's been a rough stretch of injuries and schedule stuff. And even today, I talked about this on Saturday. This was a tough game on the schedule when you think about the third game in 67 hours for this team. Rom says, Magic love straight from the Philippines. Rom, thanks for tuning in from all the way in the Philippines. Janine says, a dub in the garden. Play that song. Oh, we have a super chat. Ty, Mr. TV says, bing bong. Play our song. How fun was it that was what Paolo said to close it out? Kendra Douglas said, Paolo, anything you want to say to the fans? He said, oh, play the song. So that was pretty fun, and definitely enjoyed getting to see on the broadcast they played the song to close it out. It was pretty fun. Armin says, bing bong. Nesto says, good adjustment on Mosley for subbing Markelle for Suggs. Yeah, Markelle was really good down the stretch. Karen says, they did it with defense. They did it with defense. That is the Magic way. You love to see it. J May says, let's go Magic, let's go. Luis Rosario says, with all these players back and still waiting on Franz, we will not lose a game until we play Phoenix again. That's a 6-game win streak coming down the road. Let's go Magic. Whoa. You heard it here first, folks. A prediction from Luis Rosario. Zico says, yes, baby. Can hear the bing bong all the way to Israel. Right on. The Only Hero says, boy, did we need this. And against a playoff team that we are fighting for playoff seeding, great defensive win. 100%. Big game. Cuts the lead down to 1. New York's lead over you down to 1 game, so that's big time. No one says play that song. You know what? Let's play the song. Let's play the song today. Come on, here we go. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Oh, Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Watch it. Gonna get ya. Let's go. Oh, man, love that. Janine says, so good to see our guys getting healthy. Facts. We're so close, guys. So close. Zico says, a win in Magic Square Garden. Like that. Matthew says, we really needed this win. You better believe it. That was a good win for the psyche of this team. Leonidas says, love it. Go Magic. Good defense. Absolutely. Chris says, a raggedy ride is better than a smooth walk. I like that. Gutsy, ugly win. I never want to see that starting unit again, so please come back, Franz. Play that freaking song. I was going to talk about this later, but since you mentioned the starting unit, Coach Mosley came out right before, in his normal press conference and said the Magic were starting Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Caleb Houston, Paolo, and Goga. And then a few minutes later, we find out that he swaps it out and puts Chuma in the starting lineup for Anthony Black, and then Anthony Black doesn't play tonight. It was kind of interesting. Obviously ended up working out, as Chuma was one of the bright spots tonight, going 4 of 5 from 3. But interesting situation there with the starting lineup. I don't know anything about why that happened or whatever, but I thought it was very interesting. Ty says, man, we need Franz because our offense seemed confused. Yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. On the other side, though, the Knicks have the best defense in the league right now over the last 7 games since they made the Anunoby trade. That's the best defense in the league, and they've played some legit teams over that 7-game stretch. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. How much of it was the bad offense? Sure. How much of it was that great Knicks defense? I think that was part of it too. Janine says, hit the like button. And remember, 3-for-1 all-star voting. Paolo is our all-star. That's right. Today is a 3-for-1 voting day. So right now, as you're listening to my voice, head on to NBA.com and vote for Paolo, Franz, and all the other Magic players that are up for voting. Because today your votes count 3 times. I've already done it. If you have, that's great. If not, do it right now. Shaw Black says, go Magic. And I'm ignoring the second part of your comment, Shaw. No, just kidding. He says, go Eagles. Tonight should be interesting. I have very low expectations for the Bucks. I think the Eagles win going away, but we'll see. Toe Life, this is true. He says, Wendell looked great. Wendell did look good. Wendell looked good. It was great to have him back. When he came back from injury the first time, was kind of a shell of himself, except for the good game against Phoenix. And then tonight, I thought he was very good. In limited minutes, too. He only played 18 minutes. Very interesting. Let's see here. Skipping down a little bit. Beats by Loso says, for the first time in a while, we can say they were healthy and all played good. Yeah, just about. We're almost healthy. We're still missing Franz. Got to get him back. Michael Lynch. Oh, our friend from Ireland. This is a much better time of tip-off for our friends across the pond there. A nice little afternoon game here in the States. To quote P5, play that song, go Magic. Some great D tonight. Hit that like button, you Magic Maniacs. Absolutely. Thank you. And yeah, if you're here, definitely hit the like button. If you're brand new, by the way, we are the Six Man Show. This is an Orlando Magic podcast that puts out episodes Mondays and Thursdays, and this live postgame show right here on YouTube after each and every Orlando Magic game. So if you're brand new, just checking us out, want more Orlando Magic content, hit that subscribe button. And while you're here and you're enjoying this, hit the like button. If for no other reason, the Magic won at MSG again, hit that like button. Ty says Paolo looked tired. You know he's exhausted, man. He's literally been carrying this team for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And somehow is finding ways to win. Let's see. Shannon says Paolo is in tune with the fans. Yeah, apparently. Dizzy says, hey, Kev. Couldn't be here lately, but it was a nice tip-off for Europe. Yep. Let's go Magic. P.S. Weren't you a Steelers fan? No. Ugh. No, ever been a fan of any other team but Tampa. When I was in middle school, I went through a phase where I loved the Falcons because of Michael Vick. But Tampa has always had my heart. But no, definitely not the Steelers. Joseph says, didn't get to watch anything but the last couple of minutes, but so thankful for a dub. Big time. Grits Baby says, what do you think we're going to do with Kel for the trade deadline? Well, he looked pretty good in stretches today, so I don't know. We'll see. I think there's still a chance he goes, but we'll see. Colby says, let's go Magic, watching from Ireland. Greedy says, team is so much better with Fultz. You can notice from the moment he steps on the court. Today, yes. His previous couple games since he's been back, I would disagree. But tonight, he definitely made players better, the players around him better. And then obviously down the stretch was very important, very decisive down the stretch, and ended up obviously being a huge part of the win down the stretch. Daidalo says, feels good to be back in the win column. You better believe it. Barstool Orlando Magic says, we are top 4 in the East. We might be there eventually. We got to climb out of this hole we've dug for ourselves, but we got to get there. Justin says, I think Fultz and Wendell Carter Jr. in the second unit makes sense. Go Magic, play that song. That second unit tonight was pretty nasty. I mean, you roll out there with Joe Ingles, Markelle, Wendell, Cole, and J.I. Are you kidding me? Which, by the way, we'll go over this when we hit the box score. All 5 starters in the negatives, plus minus. All 5 bench players in the positive, plus minus. And Cole Anthony, down the stretch, because of his minutes down the stretch, ends up winning, having the highest plus minus at plus 18 for almost the first, I don't know, it was probably 40 minutes of this game. J.I.'s plus minus was the highest. But Cole being on the floor there for the closing moments, that was big for him. Quentin says, Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, famous because of teams like the Magic. Let's go. Love that. NJ0 says, GG Knicks fan. Hey, GG, brother. I'm definitely a fan of a lot of what the Knicks are doing right now. I like good old-fashioned basketball, so this under 100 game tonight was a lot of fun. But yeah, GG to the Knicks. Obviously, Knicks playing without Jalen Brunson is worth mentioning tonight. Magic playing without Franz Wagner, also worth mentioning. So both teams missing key starters, key star players. But the Magic just able to eke out the Knicks tonight. Thanks for tuning in, NJ0. Dizzy says it was a bit confused today. Mo and AB with 0 minutes. Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. Especially weird when Coach Mosley goes from starting AB to AB not playing at all. Interesting. Ty Mr. TV says, let's give J.I. the Minister of Defense song. Love he was active on Jonathan Isaac was awesome on defense. Like, I mean, not a surprise. But he was just sensational. Julius Randle is going to be seeing him in his nightmares tonight. Nathan Rivera says, I also want to see Paolo take every shot in crunch time. He's cold-blooded now. That mid-range jumper, I mean, we saw it, over the weekend, but, man, he's crazy. He's crazy. Let's see. We're going to skip ahead a little bit here to try and get caught up here. Ben says, we got to finish this road trip with a win in Atlanta. I think that would be huge. I think it's also very possible. I think even without Franz, this team is better than Atlanta. You'd like to see us go to Atlanta, play the same kind of defense we played today, and you're going to get a win. Bo says, I went to the Brooklyn Magic in-season tournament game and sat very close. Paolo was very interactive with the fans. That's fun to see. We've been around Paolo several times here on the show, and he definitely, not just fans, but everyone around him, whether it's like Magic staff or whoever, he's just a friendly guy. He likes to chat it up, so that's cool to see. Alfie says, go Magic, watching from the UK, Paolo is the GOAT. Facts, he is. Thank you for tuning in from all the way in the UK. Let me know where specifically you are, Alfie, in the UK. I'm always interested to see. I'm relatively well-versed in geography over there in most of Europe, but especially the UK. So let me know in the chat if, maybe what area or city you're tuning in from. Orlando says, win Daddy Carter. Let's go. Paul says, played that song and celebrated the win. Fultz goes and shows his value. J.I. does J.I. defensive feats. Wendell Carter shakes off some of the rust. Cole shows NYC what time it is. Magic time. Again. Let's go. Love to see that. Michael says, Paolo needed Markelle to take over late. Boy is on autopilot. Yeah, it's a little bit mixed bag. He hit a couple of those mid-range jumpers that were good, but then Markelle just, again, super decisive down the stretch, which you love to see. Love to see that. Jay Esco says, J.I. makes a huge difference. Do you see him getting off a minutes restriction? I hope so. He only played 15 minutes tonight. But the more minutes you can have J.I. on the floor, obviously the better. Like, he's just a huge difference maker. Defense and rebounding. Jay May says, I'm in Worcester, home of the... Okay, now, I got to be careful how to say this. Because over in the UK, you guys make fun of how Americans say this word. From my understanding, at least. Over here in the United States, we call it Worcestershire sauce, which I don't even remember how people in the UK pronounce it. So maybe you can try to spell it out in the comments. But yes, that is where that came from. That's so funny. Yeah, I remember hearing about that our friends across the pond make fun of Americans for how we say it. And Alpha, you're in Portsmouth. Awesome. Love that. He said, would love to come to Orlando to watch a game, a dream. Someday. Joseph says, no minutes for Black and Mo at all. Is it anything? It's something. It's definitely something. Nathan says that the guys play hard because they know they're on the trade block. Here's the thing, guys. I know you're joking, but this team always plays hard. They just don't always play well. It's one of those things. Like, Coach Mosley has these guys flying around every game. They're just missing shots or missing free throws or playing foolish sometimes, turn the ball over, whatever. Speaking of turnovers, Steven, you're exactly right. Only 7 turnovers, 49 bench points, 52 points in the paint. Love to see it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going through some of these stats because that was obviously offensively, it was a mess of a game. But you look at everything else. Magic played a really, really good game. Drum says here in the UK as well, gritty, not pretty, but the result was beautiful. I'm down in deepest... are you saying Devon? Or is that Devonshire? Devon? Anyway, in the south of the UK. Love that. So you pronounce it Worcester. Gotcha. Worcester. Got it. Okay. Oh, we got a super chat really quick. Ty, he says, hit that like Westchester sauce. Oh my gosh. That's funny. And last one here before we look at some of these stats and talk about this game. For the win says teams must hate playing the Magic's defense. If opponents don't make threes, they're in problems with Orlando. When this team is healthy, you're exactly right. Teams hate playing our defense, but we got to be healthy. Gotta be healthy. Wait, we got one more guy from the UK here. A1 Drilla says we played well tonight. Some of the rotations were confusing, but a win is a win. Love from the UK. Northamptonshire. Let's go Magic. Look at that. How many of you guys are here from the UK today? I guess it makes sense because, of the time, it's, I guess it's 5-hour difference right now, right? So it's 10:48 probably, which is a very normal time for us to be awake watching the Magic. So very cool. Well, glad to have all of our friends from Europe here in the Six Man Show postgame live today. Okay, my thoughts on this game, and then we're going to get some of the stats and talk about some other things. I went into this game with very low expectations, not because I don't think we can beat the Knicks, but I think because of what I mentioned earlier, this was the third game in 67 hours for this team. You play in Miami on Friday. You go Miami to OKC on Saturday. Then you go OKC to New York on on Monday. I get all my days mixed up. 3 NBA games in 3 different cities in 67 hours is ridiculous. It's crazy. Crazy. So I went into this game thinking, well, that's going to be probably an L for this team. Again, not because I think we're not as good as New York, but take that plus the fact that we've got injuries and sicknesses and guys on minutes restrictions. I had really low expectations. So for the team to go out there and just all they did for the first 43 minutes or whatever is just stay within striking distance, which is about all you can ask for. Their defense was terrific all night long, and we're going to go through the stats here in a second. But all this team had to do tonight was just stay close. If you can stay close and then make a run at it in the last 5 minutes or so, and that's exactly what this team did. The last 5 minutes of this game, I haven't even been able to pull up the exact numbers here on what that run was, but they absolutely shut down the Knicks there in the fourth quarter. The Knicks score 16 points in the fourth quarter. 16 points in the fourth quarter. That's crazy. Let's see here. Where was the last deficit here? Magic were down 89-85 with 5:35 to go. Then you get the Chuma 3. They cut it to 1. Then the Cole Anthony tip in with 3:42 to go is what gave the Magic the lead, and they never looked back. Excuse me. So it was 85-89, and it ends up as 98-94. Yeah. And that means that the Knicks scored, what was that? 5 points in the last 5:13. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's insane. 5 points in the last 5 minutes for the Knicks. Whoa. And, I'll just leave it at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. And again, it's a mixed bag, right? Part of it is, I think the majority of it is the Magic's defense. The other part of it is the Knicks, like the Magic, are sometimes prone to have these stretches of just miserable offense. Like if something's not working, they just shut down, So yeah, big shout out to this team, the defense. Love some of the contributions, kind of all over the board. Again, not a pretty game. If you're looking for me to sit here and celebrate this amazing offensive performance by anybody, including Paolo, you're not going to get it because tonight was not that. But it's not going to be about that when you play a Tom Thibodeau team. And it's honestly a Jamal Mosley team as well. Justin says, I see you with the Bucks jersey. Got my Winfield on too. Go Magic. Man, I love Antoine Winfield Jr. I don't want to say he's one of my... recency bias might get in my way. He's becoming one of my favorite players ever for the Bucks. We'll see. We'll see how his career ends up. Nolan says, defense wins championships. Love the future of the Magic. Facts, man. Danielle Ferraro says, from Italy, I saw every single game live. Let's go. Welcome from Italy. Appreciate that. Michael says, Mo didn't play, did he? Correct. Mo or Anthony Black did not get to play today. Nesto says, Caleb had a terrible game, needed to bounce back. I still believe in him. Yeah, I do too. That's the thing with guys that are just pure shooters like Caleb, especially earlier in his career. He's going to be streaky. Like some nights, he's going to go 6 of 8. And some nights, like tonight, he's going to go 1 of 7. It's just kind of the way it is. Yeah, Steven says 5 points in 5 minutes for the Knicks is crazy. Yeah. 16 points in the quarter, 5 points in the last 5 minutes. Insane. Shahin says, for some reason, I can't send my super chat. Well, Shahin, I appreciate you trying. It's the thought that counts. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Joseph says, with Chuma getting buckets and playing good defense, it's officially 1 through 15 that can give you good minutes. Crazy to think that on an ideally healthy night, a whole lineup of dudes who can start for us sit out. It's interesting. It's kind of the way the NBA is, right? Like, and I don't want to downplay what Chuma did today or what any of those kind of role players do. But the guys that are in the NBA are in the NBA for a reason. And any single one of them is capable of having a night like Chuma had tonight. Every one of them. Every one of them. And so, yeah, when a guy gets an opportunity, it's not going to happen every night. But every once in a while, because those guys are capable of it, it happens. And so, obviously, Chuma, several times now during the stretch that he's been playing and been starting, has been really, really good. Love the effort with Worcester. This is from Jay May. He says, can we talk about that dunk by Fultz? I was thinking that is a smooth layup. Whoa, jam. Yeah. It's so funny. I was texting with Jonathan and Luke. And on today's episode of the Six Man Show, I got to join Jonathan. And we were talking about Fultz and how he hasn't looked the same. He hasn't looked quite right. And we talked about how we feel like he's lost his explosiveness. I was like, I wonder if he listens to the show. And then was like, take this, Kevin. Gotcha. That's funny. Yeah, that was quite the throwdown. I did not expect that either. Let's see. For the win says, not many players in the hole get to the painted area as easily as Fultz, and then his control of pace makes a big difference. That is so true, man. When he's feeling it, which again, his first several games coming back, he did not look like Markelle Fultz. Today, for the most part of this game, he did, especially down the stretch. Like you said, he controls the pace. He is just so decisive. Like, that's the thing. With Markelle, very rarely am I like holding my breath when he's going into a move or initiating an offense or even on the break. Some other guys on this team I am. You know, like, I love Cole to death. Right now, Cole is being a little bit sloppy. Not super locked in as far as like his handling. And so right now I'm holding my breath when Cole is initiating the offense down the stretch. Even Paolo, to some extent, I hold my breath down the stretch when he's initiating the offense. Now, once he gets to his spot and it's a mid-range jumper or fadeaway, whatever. But when he's like bringing the ball up and we're trying to get the offense going, I do hold my breath. Not a whole lot because of him, but because of how defenses play him and then what are the other guys going to do. With Markelle, though, I don't hold my breath at all. Not saying we're going to score every time, but I'm not worried about us not getting a shot or us turning the ball over. Like, he's solid, and you're right. He's got control, and yeah, he can get to the paint whenever he wants to, just about. Dizzy says, wait, is it possible Jonathan is a Steelers fan? I thought one of you told me during a playback. Nope. Jonathan is a Giants fan. No one at the Six Man Show is a Steelers fan. I'm sorry, Dizzy. I think you might be getting something confused here because, yeah, it's not us. It's not us. Let's see. Omar says, Paolo scoring 20 on a Tibbs defense, being triple teamed while scoring 6 points at the end of the game to win it is superstar stuff. That is facts. That is facts, man. Those, again, we talked about it several times this week, but those mid-range jumpers for Paolo are becoming automatic, and that is spicy. Love to see that. Alfie says you should give each player a teammate grade after every show or in every show. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll throw some grades around sometime. Brian G says, what's the situation with Kevon Harris? He has not played a single game. I think you are correct. Kevon Harris has not played at all this season. He came into the season with an injury. Beyond that, I don't know. It's a little bit of a mystery. We've asked, that's not true. I don't know if we at the Six Man Show specifically have asked. It has been asked. I can't remember if it was us or not. At some press conferences over the course of the 40 games so far this season, we have asked, or it has been asked of Jamal Mosley, an update with him, and it's always the vague, he's still easing his way back or whatever. The typical Mosley answer. So I really don't know. I really, really don't know. I wish I did. I'm a fan of Kevon Harris. Especially during the stretch with all the injuries, Kevon absolutely could have played. Absolutely could have played. So, yeah, I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. Omar says, also, he would have had like 13 assists if people made their wide open shots. I think you're still talking about Paolo. Yeah. Words for Life says, what's the difference in how many TPA today for Knicks versus the winners? TPA. Why am I blanking on what a TPA is? You'll have to remind me. Yeah, sorry. I'm totally blanking on TPA right now. You have to remind me what that is. But first, we do have a super chat from Shahan. Shahan, thank you so much for that. He says, at dinner currently, missed the game, but like the video. Bing bong, go Magic. Couldn't send $5, but here's double. Well, You don't have to convince me, Shy. And thank you so much for that. Appreciate that super chat. That means a lot. But yeah, bing bong, 100%, man. The Magic continue to do really well at MSG over the last, was it last year that we sweep MSG or was it the year before? Either way, we played really well at MSG over the last several seasons, and that's a lot of fun. Okay, so I've got total points allowed, and I've got 3-point attempts. So Words for Life is the one who asked the question, so I'm assuming it's 3-point attempts. What's the difference in how many 3-point attempts today for Knicks versus the winners? Well, I think that's a perfect time, Words for Life, to go into our box score. I'm just now realizing what I've done. Okay, here's the box score, guys. Oh, man. So we're talking about 3-point attempts. 29 for the Magic, 40 for the Knicks. Big discrepancy there. We'll talk more about those team stats in a little bit. Powell today, pretty good. Again, what we talked about just a second ago. Coming up against a Knicks defense, a Thibodeau defense, you end up leading the Magic, I believe, all scorers. Okay, Miles McBride. You tie Miles McBride for most points in this game. 20 points for Powell on 9 of 19 shooting. Missed both of his threes, which you hate to see. 2 of 5 from the free throw line, which you hate to see. But he also gets 6 boards, 3 assists, and only 2 turnovers. A theme you're going to see throughout this is 7 total turnovers for the Magic. Only 7 total turnovers. That is incredible, especially against a Thibodeau team. Only 7 turnovers. That's just sensational. Especially when you think about there were games earlier in the season when guys, I think Paolo had an 8 turnover game by himself. So to have 7 turnovers as a team against that terrific defense, just great. Just great. Caleb Houston, we already mentioned him tonight. Not his best night. 7 points, 1 of 7 from the 3, all were from the field, all were from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, and a rebound in 21 minutes. Goga, not a whole lot offensively, but wow, rebounding the basketball, he was gigantic. 11 boards, 4 of them were offensive rebounds. He was a monster on the glass, which, you'd hope he would be, considering, who the Knicks are rolling out there. Without Mitchell Robinson, they're obviously starting Hartenstein, who's a terrific rebounder, but when he's off the floor, it's like Precious Achiuwa. Guys like Wendell and Goga should be eating up those rebounds around, basically outside of Hartenstein, who's a great rebounder. Chuma tonight, he was the story for me. I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch, but certainly he kept you in the game early with his threes, and then he did hit that huge 3 late that got you within 1. He goes 15 points tonight, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3 for Chuma. It's so funny. Chuma has been ridiculed a lot by Magic fans for his 3-point shooting form because it's not pretty, but every once in a while it's really effective, and so you'll really take that tonight. Also adds 3 boards and a block. Jalen tonight, very quiet night for Jalen. Just 4 points for him, 1 of 8 from the field. 1 of 6 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 4 assists, 2 turnovers for him. So again, outside of scoring, he was really good tonight. Oh, and defense, obviously. Jalen was great tonight. The bench unit, though, is where you won this game. I mean, you absolutely crushed them. Their second unit tonight, their second unit got 20 points. Obviously, we'll look at the team stats here in a second, but 11 points for Markelle, 5 boards. I didn't really realize he had 7 assists. Wow. 11 points, 5 boards, 7 assists in 23 minutes for Markelle, and 0 turnovers. That's hot. Love to see that from Markelle. Love to see that. Let's see here. Oh, I skipped over Joe Ingles. Sorry. Joe Ingles played 20 minutes tonight. Very quiet night for him. Does end up with 4 assists along with 6 points. But Wendell was great. Wendell was really, really good tonight. Not just scoring, 17 points which Wendell had some really good finishes near the rim, short game, which sometimes, especially since he was back last week, he missed some gimmies last week. And this afternoon, did a really good job. Really good job finishing at the rim. Cole started slow, had a couple turnovers, but really got going down the stretch. 15 points for him, 6 of 12 from the field. Missed all 3 of his threes, but 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 4 boards, 5 assists for Cole. I didn't realize that. And then Jonathan Isaac, man, Only 5 points, but he grabbed 7 gigantic rebounds, and his defense tonight was sensational, especially down the stretch. Well, not down the stretch. He didn't play down the stretch. Early in the fourth quarter, that's when the Knicks offense really started to sputter, is when Jonathan Isaac was defending Julius Randle and other guys as well. What can you say about J.I.? Only plays 15 minutes tonight, but he's a plus 15 in those 15 minutes. Like, he was just terrific. He was so good. Let's see here. Luis Rosario says, if everyone stays healthy and playing this well, we might not see Jet Howard until next year. I mean, it makes you wonder. Jet Howard played today, which I haven't seen his final numbers for today, but we've talked about this a little bit on the show and on the Six Man Show as well. The fact that that in some ways it feels like because this team is good now, Jet Howard, the Magic might be treating Jet Howard almost like a baseball minor league situation. They're letting him be in the G League, get reps, play regular, consistent basketball, and then when he's ready, call him up. But right now, I don't know. Nathan says, if Portland blows the team up, could we get Anthony? If Portland blows the team up, I don't know if they blow it all up and include Anthony. That'd be crazy. But man, Anthony Simons on this team would be amazing. Blake Bickerstaff, Goga says, Goga a steal from Indy, 100%, and Chuma is playing great, absolutely. Jam Hot Chicken is here. They say, let's go. Nothing like a matinee holiday victory. Sup, Kev. Go Magic. Let's go. Jam Hot Chicken. Check them out in Winter Park. Best chicken you'll eat in Central Florida. I guarantee you. Guarantee. This is so true. Omar says, dealt with a casual left-handed fading hook shot game winner. Bro, that is so true. A great footwork from Wendell, but you're right. He goes up with the left hand, and I'm just like, oh, it went in. Okay, cool. Let's go. Oh, man. Okay, chat is telling me that Jet scored 32 today. Yeah, I knew he was playing really well. I didn't see the final number. So Jet Howard with 32 points in the Osceola Magic victory today. Love to see that. Sean says DeJounte Murray. Nope. I will pass. Don't like him. Absolutely not. Part of it is just I'm still salty about the whole Pro-Am thing with Paolo, and the dude's a clown. He's a child, and I don't really want children on this team. Jay May says, almost every game, Jalen is holding his left wrist and fingers. Should we be playing him for 26 minutes for the sake of 4 points or let him rest? Yeah, we've seen that a lot lately. It's hard to say. You know, Jalen is always getting beat up every game. Every game, something's happening with him. So it's hard to say. The thing with Jalen, though, you say for the sake of 4 points or let him rest. You play Jalen because of his defense. And if he gets you more points, that's great. But defense and, you know, his energy, his effort, his hustle, that's why you play Jalen. Soul Train says, as someone in Winter Park, I need to eventually try it. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I need to try it anytime Wednesday through Sunday. All right? Go check them out. And we always tell people, if you're going for the first time, order whatever spice level you think you enjoy. Order a level lower, okay? I tend to like decently spicy stuff. Like I've never done like I'm not one for the crazy stuff. It's got to have good flavor, which Jam Hot does. So like I got the mild, and I was sweating from the mild. Now I sweat from barely anything. I still love spicy food, even though I'm sweating. But the mild's hot. The mild's not a joke. So definitely try the mild. But of course they do have I don't remember what they call it, but no spice basically, which is still just a great chicken sandwich or the box or whatever. Sean says, yo, sorry, I got to go watch my Steelers get cream. Go Magic. Well, there's a Steelers fan for you. We found one. We were talking earlier about Steelers fans. Nesta says we need to get Tyus Jones out of Washington. That would be a name I would love to see. A1 says it hurts hearing how good Jam Hot Chicken is for a man who lives in the UK. Yeah. Sorry about that. Hey, when you're over here, you got to give it a try. Oh, I like this. David A says, scan the socks, play the song. Love that. Love that. If you're confused what he's referring to, this is a great time, David A. Thank you for that. If you're confused what he's referring to, our friends at Rock'em sell a sock that's Orlando Magic pizza themed socks. You know, Orlando Magic, you know, if you can use the code MAGICWIN at Papa John's online to get 50% off your order the next day, blah, 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 blah. They made his socks that have the QR code of the Papa John's website. So you can scan the QR code on the socks and get 50% off, which is awesome. But that's just a testament to Rock'em. Rock'em is an amazing company. They're the sponsor of this show, the Six Man Show Postgame Live. They're a Central Florida company, and that's why we love their support. We love to support them ourselves. So go to Rock'em.com and use the code MAGIC20 to get you 20% off your order at Rock'em.com all season long. Big shout out to our friends at Rocket. All right, let's look at some of these team stats. What are we at here? 36 minutes. Holy smokes. Yeah, let's look at some of these team stats. The first one just blows my mind. Points in the paint, 52-36. That's wild. On both fronts. The fact you were able to score 52 points, but the Knicks, I don't remember what they give up. They were talking about in the broadcast earlier, or how many they score, points in the paint. Tonight, they only score 36 points in the paint, and you score 52 points in the paint on them. They don't give up a lot of points in the paint, so to get 52, you'll take that. The biggest lead was only 11 tonight. Like we talked about earlier, it was always a 2-3 possession game for most of this game. There's those bench points number, 49-20. The Magic bench absolutely destroyed the Knicks bench. That was quite literally the difference in the game. The turnovers, though, was what's crazy. For both teams, only 9 for the Knicks and 7 for the Magic, combined 16 turnovers. That's really surprising for both teams. Pretty clean game by that stretch, even though it was ugly. Speaking of ugly, this is the stat of the night right here, though. 16 points in the fourth quarter. 16 points in the fourth quarter for the Knicks. That's wild. But the one that matters, 98-94 to the Magic. Let's look at some of these other team stats here. You shoot the ball better than the Knicks. That's interesting. I'm surprised we ended up at 44%. It really had to be those shots down the stretch that clawed us out of that because it was a mess all night. Obviously, three-pointers were different. You go 8 of 29 for 27%, while the Knicks go 13 of 40 for 32%. So that was a big difference. Free throw struggles, guys. We have got to do better than 14 of 21. This stretch right now, we are just killing ourselves at the free throw line. It's terrible. It's really, really rough. Do you believe in, says producer Kevin, we want to see a pic of you with Shaq on 213? Are you kidding me? I want to see that. That'd be insane. I've never met Shaq. I've met a lot of NBA folks. Never met Shaq. That would be really fun. Soul Train says, I think Colin Sexton would pair well with Jalen Suggs, but it would be an expensive experiment. You're not wrong there. A1 Drilla says, fancy making a place here. That's funny. A Jam Hot Chicken location in the UK. That'd be wild. Brian says, Magic need to utilize the trade deadline. Hield would work well. What are your thoughts? I like Buddy Hield. He's just old. I'm still in the camp where I want a player that will grow with the team, and Buddy Hield's kind of old for that. But I understand why Magic fans would want him. He does everything you want him. He does everything that Magic fans want to see. Basically. The only hero. This is it right here. Magic win. All I need is for my Bucks to win. It'll be a great day. Facts. It's gonna be a tall order, but I think it's possible. We'll see. All right, back to this box score. Yeah, free throws. The team has got to get better at those. This stretch has just been really rough. Both teams with 13 offensive rebounds tonight, and the Magic had some big ones down the stretch. Again, because of those low turnovers, only 3 steals for the Knicks, 2 for the Magic. It's crazy. We already looked at the points in the paint. Very even game as far as fouls go, so that's what that is. A1 says, Kevin, shirtless postgame live, next 5-game win streak? No, I don't do that. As Luke. No shirtless Kevin here. I can promise you that. You'll have to watch the 6-man show to see any shirtless dudes. All right. We are coming up on 40 minutes here, so I'm going to talk about some of the other games in the league, look at the standings, and look ahead to Wednesday's game in Atlanta, and then I got a call tonight. It's 6 o'clock. Holy smokes. Got to eat some dinner and get ready for this Bucks game. Looking at some other scores around the league, Hawks beat the Spurs by 10, but look at this, guys. The Pistons won a game. Slow clap for the Detroit Pistons. 129-117 over probably the second worst team in basketball, the Washington Wizards, who just made the trade over the weekend, which is pretty funny. Jalen Duren is such a beast, though. 20-19 for him. Look at Tyus Jones here. 22, 6, and 7. You know what? I don't normally look at box scores of other games, but let's just look at Tyus Jones just for fun. Let's see what he did tonight. 22 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, 0 turnovers. Oh, that's not going to help the Magic fans who want to see him so bad. But they lost. Mavs beat the Pelicans. 76ers beat the Rockets. And obviously the Magic beat the Knicks, which is big. Why is it big? Because let's look at the standings. Magic have cut the deficit between the Knicks and the Magic down to 1 game, which is big time. So the Magic now trail the Knicks by 1 game, the Pacers, Heat, and Cavs by 1.5 games, and the Sixers by 4 games. So it's a big win. The head-to-head stuff is really big. We talked about this several times this year, but obviously the Heat situation is bad. You're 0-2 against the Heat. So these next 2 games, you got to beat the Heat. Excuse me, not just for the standings, but for the head-to-head tiebreaker should we need it. You're 2-0 against the Pacers, so that's big. You're now 2-0 against the Knicks, so that's big. Cleveland, I believe you're 1-1. So all these games head-to-head, tiebreakers can be really important. So big win for the Magic today. And yeah, so big credit for the Magic. Now just 1 game back of that 7 seed. It's gonna be a battle, guys. Here we are, game 40. We have 42 games to go, and I think this race is just gonna be tight the whole way. It really is. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, guys. Let's look ahead to what day? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday the Magic play in Atlanta, the final game of this road trip. If you ask me, Magic got to win that game. Before we talk about that game, Geronimo says, hi from Greece, guys. Great match, great win. Keep going, Magic. Let's win an ATL 2. Absolutely. Geronimo, thanks for tuning in from Greece. Love that. That's great. That is great. Arto says, Wizards are better than Spurs and Blazers right now, probably. I don't think so. Well, let me back up. Sorry. Wizards are better than the Spurs. Okay, sorry. Wizards are better than the Spurs? Maybe. Blazers, you're right, have had some really bad losses lately. I just don't like that Wizards team. I think Jordan Poole's a fraud, and I can't stand Kyle Kuzma. So part of it is my own bias. Oh, man. Okay, back to this Atlanta game. You got to win on Wednesday. We're almost fully healthy. It's not a back-to-back, so most, if not all, of the guys that play today should be available on Wednesday. I doubt we see Franz. I'm hoping by this weekend, the home games over the weekend, the 3 home games over the weekend, we'll get Franz back for those. I doubt we see him on Wednesday. But regardless, even without Franz, if everyone else is healthy, we should win on Wednesday. And I'd like to see a comfortable win. Like, I'd like to see a game that's in hand going into the fourth quarter. That would be amazing for this team. Ability to maybe even rest some of the starters down the stretch of that game would be huge. These guys are just dying. I mean, between the rough schedule, between the injuries, between the sickness that's been going through the team, this team needs a break. And they need a break big time. So yeah, I think Wednesday's an important game. You got to win it. All right, folks, I think that's going to do it for us today. Nice, fat old 45-minute post-game live. But hey, first win in a while, you got to celebrate. So thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks, as always, for tuning in to Six Man Show Post-Game Live. We'll be back on Wednesday after that game in Atlanta. It's a 7:30 tip, so obviously a little bit later than a normal 7 p.m. tip for us, but we'll be there every step of the way. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. As always good to hang out with you. Always good to get a win. Magic win at MSG again. Bing bong. Love to see it. Go Bucks. And as always, let's go